Let me take you right into the eye of the storm the moment two kids pulled off a chess move so flawless, so weirdly specific, that the man facing them, a man who prided himself on never being surprised, felt every drop of color drain from his face. That was the instant Marcus Reynolds realized his past hadn't just caught up with him, it had outplayed him. But hang tight, because before we unravel how all the pieces landed, I want to know where you're watching from and what time is over there. Go ahead, hit subscribe, and let's get this started. It's wild what you can miss when you move through life unseen. Amara Johnson knew this better than anyone. For 10 years, she'd cleaned the glass palaces of the Manhattan elite hallways after dark, always invisible, like part of the building's shadow. Her phone buzzed as she emptied another executive's trash. Only her kids called this late. "Hey baby, everything okay?" She balanced the phone between her ear and shoulder, voice soft, steps practiced. "Mom, I can't solve this endgame. It's that Lucina, position only different." Zach's frustration crackled over the line. "Shouldn't you be in bed?" she teased. "It's almost 11. Can't sleep until I figure it out. My brain won't quit." She smiled. "Your brain and mine are the same that way." 5 minutes. Zach painted out the chessboard with words while Amara shut her eyes, piecing together the game in her mind. Chess was her secret language long before her kids learned I-tone place, where nobody cared who you were, just how you played. "You're overthinking it. What's the first rule?" "Control the center." "And the second?" "A knight on the rim is grim weight." "I see it." He rattled off the right move. "Exactly," she said, pride washing over her. "Now go to sleep before I ban chess for a week." As she slid the phone back in her pocket, Amara was hit with the old irony, mopping up boardrooms so her kids could win trophies during the day. Her twins had their father's brains, none of his privileges, and all her fight. 22 floors above, Marcus Reynolds stewed alone in a penthouse office with a skyline view, wrestling with a different sort of endgame. His mother's voice on the phone was ice and iron. "The Perponts are disappointed. Their daughter expected a proposal." "Vanessa is perfectly suitable," he replied, tight-lipped, but inside, he recoiled from every word. Legacy, social capital, alliances. The chessboard he played was made of people and power. He hung up, staring down at Manhattan. All the wealth and glory he'd fought for, and yet he couldn't shake the hollow in his chest. He'd sacrificed his queen a decade ago for all this, and sometimes, when the city went quiet, he wondered why. Friday night. The office was almost empty, except for one last light burning. Amara's shift should have steered her clear of him. His driver was supposed to have taken him out 2 hours ago. She tiptoed into his corner suite, cleaning supplies in hand, her heart ticking like a bomb. She saw the chess piece, the Black Queen, always in the same spot on his desk. And for the first time, curiosity got the better of her. Whose photo did he keep hidden away, facing the wall? She reached out, but footsteps in the hall froze her mid-motion. Voices. His. Panic rocketed through her veins. She ducked behind his massive desk just as he walked in, barking into his phone about projections and Shanghai calls. She held her breath, knees to her chest, watching the man she used to know older now, some silver in his hair, tension in his voice, but every bit the tactician. He picked up the Black Queen, spun it in his fingers, muttered to himself, then grabbed his jacket and left. She waited, nerves unraveling, then reached for her cartonly to knock over a bottle. It hit the floor with a deafening clatter. The footsteps returned. "Hello, is someone there?" Marcus called out. She emerged, heart pounding. Their eyes locked. "Amara," he whispered. 10 years of careful distance, wiped out in a heartbeat. She straightened her uniform, dignity her last shield. "Good evening, Mr. Reynolds. I was just finishing up." He stammered, for once lost for words. "Excuse me," she said, brushing past him. He called after her, but she kept walking. In the hallway, her hands shook. The game was on again, and somewhere in the city, her kids were fast asleep, completely unaware that everything was about to change. 3 sleepless nights later, Marcus found himself at Windsor Academy, shaking hands with the headmaster, trying to focus on the chess program he'd sponsored, a way to give other kids the shot he wished he'd had. When the conversation turned to two standout students from the Bronx twin prodigies, a boy and a girl, dominating tournaments, Marcus's ears pricked up. Something in the description tugged at him, and before he could stop himself, he was on his way to the East Bronx Community Center. Inside, he watched kids hunched over battered boards. The twins caught his "I write always lightning quick" hands, sharp banter, moves that made him lean in. When the coach introduced him, he knelt to their level, inviting a challenge. 10 minutes in, he realized this wasn't charity who was fighting for survival on that board. Zach played with uncanny intuition, Zoe's tactics fierce and creative. Their faces, their focus, something about them haunted him. After the game, Marcus invited them to special training at Windsor, fully sponsored. He handed his business card to their coach. "You have a queen on your card," Zach noticed. "The queen is the most powerful piece," Marcus replied. "She can go anywhere. I always believe in following her example." Back at home, the twins exploded through the door. "Mom, you'll never guess who we met. A real chess master from the fancy school," Zach beamed. "Marcus Reynolds." At the name, Amara went pale. The world spun as her past and present collided. When the kids started at Windsor, Zach was dazzled, Zoe skeptical. Amara, torn between pride and fear, watched as Marcus stepped into their lives, just as she'd always dreaded and hoped might. At a training session, Marcus faced Zach across the board. The match was a battle. Then, in a moment straight out of Marcus's own memory, Zach pulled off a wild queen, sacrificed the move Marcus had invented years ago with Amara, taught to no one else. Marcus's heart stopped. "Where'd you learn that?" he asked, voice barely steady. "My mom taught me," Zach said. And suddenly, Marcus knew these were his children. Confrontation was inevitable. Amara, trying to hide in the executive tower, found Marcus waiting for her. "They're mine, aren't they?" he asked. The truth finally spilled out. 10 years, he'd missed everything. First steps, first words, first heartbreaks. She fired back, chosen his world over theirs. He tried to argue, to explain, but the past stood between them like a wall. "There are children," he said, "and everything has changed." Their reunion was rocky. The twins wanted answers. Zach, open and curious. Zoe, fierce and protective. The truth came out in painful, halting admissions. College sweethearts, broken apart by family, pride, and fear. "Why now?" Zoe demanded. "Why are you here?" "Because I want to know you," Marcus replied, "if you'll let me." He offered them scholarships, opportunities. Amara hesitated, but Zach was captivated by the possibilities, Zoe resistant to leaving their world behind. Marcus's parents tried to meddle, tested the boundaries of this fragile new family. But when William Reynolds suffered a heart attack at the chess championship, priorities realigned fast. In the finals, Zach unleashed the Johnson-Reynolds gambit, his mother's creativity and his father's precision, in one devastating move. The crowd erupted. The family fractured, but present stood together in awe. Even Marcus's parents, humbled, began. Central Park, after the championship. Amara and Marcus sat on a bench, watching their kids play, the distance between them softer than before. "What do you need, Amara?" Marcus asked, the question carrying a decade's worth of regret and hope. "I don't know anymore," she admitted. "I've been in survival mode so long." "You don't have to be anymore," he promised. The offer wasn't a rescue, it was a partnership. That night, as the four of them played chess together beneath the park lights, Zoe asked, "Can we do this again?" "Family chess night," Marcus echoed, hope rising. She shrugged, trying to sound casual. "Yeah, it was kind of fun." Amara smiled. "The hardest games are the ones you play against yourself," she realized, and sometimes the only way forward is to risk everything one move at a time. Now, tell Mua's Marcus right to fight for a place in his kids' lives? Or should Amara have kept the door closed? Where does justice live? And what would you have done in their shoes? Drop your thoughts below, because this is one game where everyone has a move to make.